I was going to release a completely different films review this week, but Shang-Chi absolutely blew me away, so I had to give it priority. Stay tuned for my thoughts. Hi, my name's Drew and welcome to another review video on flying Wiener. Shang-Chi absolutely blew me away. I thought it was going to be the same Marvel formula that we have seen a few times already. The first trailer, which is the only one I saw, I'll be honest, I didn't want to spoil myself too much. I knew I was going to see the film, it's just that the first trailer didn't really wow me, and so last night I went to see it and my jaw nearly dropped by the end of it because I thought it was just such an incredible film. It certainly proved me wrong, and if you'd have to ask me, I mean, generally speaking, the more modern single origin stories for our superheroes in the MCU have, in general quality, I feel, been better than the first ones. I'm talking about the very start of the MCU. So I feel that Captain Marvel, Black Panther and now Shang-Chi are definitely superior to the first ones, which makes a lot of sense. Obviously, Marvel Studios has learned a lot in the past decade or so, yeah, it's quite obvious that they are better, but still I feel it's something that should be appreciated. And to me, Shang-Chi even tops Black Panther, which to date was my favourite because it's just got so much style and just feels so singular and individual. Now, if you're one of those people who complain because Black Panther was in Civil War and so was Spider-Man, their first films didn't come until later. Yeah, but still, I think that everyone would still regard Black Panther as a real introduction, obviously, to the character in the MCU. Oh, what is Shang-Chi about? I myself must say that the trailer gave me completely different vibes. I thought it was just going to be our typical, we've got one guy who figures out that he needs or wants to be a superhero and he's got somebody that he's going up against. It was clear from the trailers that it would even be his own father. While that is an interesting aspect, it didn't feel too special beyond that. So the story itself, as per usual, keeping it without spoilers, and it's actually a shame because I really would love to talk about spoilers here, but you should see it because I did not believe the things that were happening in the film. It takes a very different turn, but to the better, and it's something that I did not see coming, I must admit. Who is Shang-Chi? He was born in China, was trained from a very early age on to be an assassin in the Ten Rings, which you may be familiar with. We saw them pop up in Iron Man 3, which was in 2013, quite some time ago already. And at some point when he was given a mission, he decided that he did not want to live this life. He fled, moved to America, and just started living his life there. He lives there with his best friend, and the two of them are just valets at a hotel. So nothing really special, you could say. Then events start happening that drag Shang-Chi back into his old life, his former life, the Ten Rings, connections to his family and particularly his father, of course. And this is the journey that we join him on. So he is just this ordinary guy who actually wants to be left alone. He just wants fun in life, but has to discover that we sometimes cannot decide what we want to do in life, and so he is sort of slowly being moved towards this heroic life, which he's good at, and he completely manages to convince us that this is what he was actually destined to do. But I think it's a very relatable thing. I can remember myself when I was about to graduate from school where I still wasn't quite sure what I wanted in life. And so, yeah, in that sense, I feel that Shang-Chi is a very relatable character. That is pretty much all I'll tell you about the story, and we have got a conflict going on between Shang-Chi and his father. I will not explain what that is about, or what the details are, or how that goes. I'll leave that for you to find out. The only thing I will say again is that the story, it goes places that I did not see coming, but I absolutely loved. I do really want to talk about is just the great balance of characters we have in this story. So I feel that's what makes it even better than Black Panther. Black Panther had a great cast and great characters in it, and a great balance as well, but I feel they just did it a lot better here. It all feels very organic, the dialogue between people and their affections to each other and how they treat each other and how they try and convince each other of different viewpoints, etc. It just felt really well thought out, well written, everything. I really enjoyed that. And as far as the characters go, so Shang-Chi himself is played by Simu Liu. Really great choice for the role. He's got all the martial arts down, which we will also talk about in a bit, but he's just a very likeable guy, does perfectly in the role. I can't wait to see him in future things, because I myself believed, without knowing anything about him, that Shang-Chi was a rather minor character. Now I'm thinking, well, he's probably going to end up being rather important in future films, which is great. I really look forward to that. His best friend is played by Awkwafina, and I have seen her previously, and I really like her, and she's a perfect fit. The two of them have this relationship where they just want fun, and they're like best pals, etc. And that really works so well in this film. The two of them, they play off each other incredibly well. She is a great addition. But apart from that, you've got other great people. The villain, who is Shang-Chi's father, his name in the film is Wen Wu. He is played by Tony Leung, and again, like with the rest, absolutely perfect fit. His character is a bit older, I'll call it. He is the one who wields the 10 rings that you see in the trailers. That is his father, and these have given him immortality. And I feel he portrays it very well. So you have something in his character, you can really see that he has been around for a very long time. His eyes and generally his expression really show that he has built his convictions over thousands of years, and he will hold on to them as well as to his might that's given to him through the 10 rings. Mention a few others. You have got a Chinese actress, her name is Meng'er. I probably am butchering the name, I did my best, I'm sorry. She plays Shang-Chi's sister. This is, I believe, her first feature film. Great job as well. Also very able to combine both the martial aspects plus all just the dramatic acting that goes on in the film. Then you have two other female characters. Generally speaking, I feel this is probably one of the best balances that I've seen in the MCU now between male and female characters and actors. I feel that it just works wonderfully. So just to round off the rest of the cast, you have Michelle Yeoh, who, well, you will probably have seen in many things already, and Farah Chen, who plays Shang-Chi's mother. So the whole cast really does a magnificent job, and there are more there that I have not mentioned, certainly more. Do a really wonderful job to bring this story to life and make it a really enjoyable experience. Now, the martial arts, it's easily the MCU's most martial artist film to date, which I am particularly happy about, being a martial artist myself, and I must say it was really incredible to watch. I saw a comment somewhere on social media, somebody said the bus scene, wow. Only having seen it briefly in the first trailer, I thought, okay, well, let's see what it is. I must say, after having seen it, I fully agree, the bus scene is really well executed. Generally the fights, they are so well choreographed. I would imagine that it took them very long just to get it all down to a T, rehearsing all this stuff and making it really work, because on screen it looks absolutely real, also because thankfully they're not cutting between angles the whole time to sort of cover up that the actors are not martial artists or can't move as fast, etc. Here you can see the real bonus of having people who are actually proficient in martial arts, because the camera can stay on them, because they are able to perform a sequence of attacks, blocks, etc. in the actual realistic speed and manner. It's just wonderful to look at. So a big plus for this. If you like your martial arts in films, then this is definitely one you will enjoy. It's so well thought out. It's so well thought out. You've got the cameras, the choreography itself, the action, the fluidity of it, just incredible. It also brings me to the visuals next, because particularly with these 10 rings, they've got mystical qualities, I'll call them, which you will know from the trailers if you have seen it, and that is done in a really wonderful manner. So you can really see how much the CGI is improving from one film to the next, because now we are slowly getting to the stage, I feel, at least here, where at times it's difficult to tell the difference between a normal shot and a CGI shot. There were a few scenes here and there, also in this film, where it was very, very clear just visually. Now the fluid motion while they're doing inhuman jumps and backflips and obviously hitting people with inhuman strength, etc. It is wonderfully animated. It just really enhances this film, also because it does have some fantastical elements, this film, and they are brought to life here in a really beautiful manner. So visually, an incredible film. Now, without being spoilerish, I still feel it is very important to mention that this film has some great callbacks and cameos in it. We are in the MCU now, we are getting close to 30 films or entries, I'll call it, if you combine the series as well along with all the films. It's a standard thing by now that we have certain characters popping up in other characters' properties, but still it's always very appreciated, particularly just the ones that you see here. I loved every single one of them. Great choices, and what they do in the film is also really great. Makes me excited for the future because we'll have Shang-Chi hopefully popping up in somebody else's films or TV shows, and I am really looking forward to that. Those are my thoughts on Shang-Chi. Basically, after the film had ended, I thought we had just witnessed in the cinema the retelling of a Chinese folktale. That is what it seemed like to me, just all the elements of it, and particularly the fantastical things, of course, with the 10 rings and others. It just worked so well. I had to laugh because I thought, you know, Disney, this is probably what you were aiming for with Mulan, but that obviously went differently. But this is really, I feel, how they are going to reach that Chinese population that they are so desperate for when it comes to the box office numbers, because I don't see how they would take offense to this, and it's just throughout a great story, great characters to support that story, great martial arts. I feel it is very respectful of Chinese heritage, and just like I say, just the whole thing in and of itself, as someone who does not know them, made me think I was watching a Chinese folktale. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. That is definitely the best way to support the channel. It would be very much appreciated, and I will see you in the next video on Flying Wiener. Take care.